We've just had confirmation of the very sad news that Peter and Autumn Phillips have separated after 12 years of marriage, but they want to continue co-parenting their daughters Savannah, who is 9, and Isla, who is 7, and I'm sure we will continue to family events in future.
Did you know that Isla and Savannah Phillips, granddaughters of Princess Anne, weren't born into a life of golden cages and endless royal duties like their cousin did? Instead, they grew up in a modern, grounded environment, surrounded by their family's love and the freedom of an ordinary childhood. Did stayed out of the media for quite a long time, but they recently revealed something very interesting. They revealed details of Princess Anne and their father, Peter Phillips. Many people are now wondering about their future in the monarchy. Stay with us until the end to discover how these modern royal sisters might influence the course of history. But first, let's take a look back at their early moments with the royal family. Princess Anne's grandchildren, Savannah and Isla Phillips, have grown up so much. These young royal girls are quickly becoming young women. Like their father, Peter Phillips, they don't have any royal titles, which makes people wonder what their future roles will be in the monarchy. Even though they don't know what their duties are yet, these preteen sisters will definitely have an effect on the future of the monarchy. Stay with us as we talk about how these royal siblings are adjusting to life as a monarch in the 21st century. Before we go any further, let us remember how Savannah and Isla became part of the royal family. Savannah Ann Kathleen Phillips was born at Gloucestershire Royal Hospital on December 29, 2010. It was a happy start for Peter Phillips and his wife Autumn. Savannah, their first child, adds a touch of charm to a family that mixes royal tradition with a more modern feel in a beautiful way. She is also the first great-grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and the first granddaughter of Princess Anne and Mark Phillips. This is a very important event in the history of the royal family. Before Savannah was born, her father Peter was in a couple of well-known relationships. He went out with Elizabeth Loriot, who was the heiress to a U.S. cod liver oil fortune, and then he had a short affair with flight attendant Tara Swain. But everything changed when he met Canadian management consultant Autumn Kelly at the Formula One Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal in 2003. They hit it off right away, and on July 28, 2007, they announced they were getting married, which made royal fans all over the world very happy. Autumn switched from Catholicism to the Church of England before their wedding, because she knew their backgrounds were different. The Act of Settlement 1701 said that Peter's place in the royal line of succession would have been at risk if he stayed Catholic. This decision was very important. David Connor, Dean of Windsor, officiated their beautiful wedding on May 17, 2008, at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. After getting married, the couple moved to Hong Kong, where Peter got a job running sponsorship programs for the Royal Bank of Scotland in Asia. 2 years later, when Savannah was born, they were even happier. The whole royal family and people from other families celebrated with them. Autumn, Savannah's mother, was 32 years old when she was born, and Peter Phillips, her father, was 33 years old. There was some interest when Savannah arrived, but before everyone could see the new royal, Peter and Autumn added a touch of mystery by not telling anyone her name. The public finally found out her name at a church service in Sandringham, ending the suspense. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, the Princess Royal, Captain Mark Phillips, and Autumn's family have been informed and are delighted with the news, said Buckingham Palace, which is the best place to get royal news. The birth of Savannah marked two important events in the royal family's history. She was the first great-grandchild of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, so she marked the beginning of a new era. Because her mother is Canadian, she is also the first royal heir to hold both Canadian and British citizenship. Rafal Heidelmanku, an expert on royal genealogy, said that Savannah's birth made ties between the Crown and Canada stronger. Heidelmanku told CTV News, "The royal family has never been more Canadian, and I think that's pretty important for strengthening the bond between Canadians and the Crown." Savannah Phillips is a lovely young woman who comes from a long line of people and has a bright future ahead of her. She is both a symbol of royal tradition and the hopes and dreams of the next generation. She is a member of the royal family and connects the past to the exciting future. And her story doesn't end there. She soon had a younger sister, Isla Phillips, born into the royal family. Isla Phillips, the royal family's next little joy. On March 29, 2012, Isla Elizabeth Phillips was born, a little over a year after her sister Savannah. She was born at Gloucestershire Royal Hospital, along with her brother or sister. She weighed 7 pounds and 4 ounces. The royal family was very happy about the new member's arrival. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, the Princess Royal, Captain Mark Phillips, and Autumn's family have been informed and are delighted with the news, the palace said in a happy statement. Isla was known as more than just Peter Phillips and Autumn Kelly's second child. She was also Princess Anne's second grandchild and the second great-grandchild of both Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh. The warmth and happiness around Isla's birth showed how much the royal family loves and cares for each other. Isla and Savannah have the same parents, but they are very different people. Isla has a quieter and more gentle personality, while Savannah is known for being free-spirited and daring. This difference makes for a nice balance between the two sisters, letting them balance each other out while still having fairly private childhoods. Isla and Savannah become close friends as they get older, but they still see the world in their own unique ways, which are shaped by their different personalities. Royal roots. Unveiling the significance behind their middle names. The names that Peter Phillips and Autumn Kelly chose for their daughters were meant to have a lot of royal history in them. For their little girls' middle names, they took their time to find the right mix of tradition and personal meaning. Savannah's middle names, Anne and Kathleen, are very important to her. Anne honors her grandmother on her dad's side, Anne, Princess Royal, and Kathleen, who everyone calls Kitty, honors her grandmother on her mom's side. That's not the end of the tribute. When Isla was born, her middle name, Elizabeth, was chosen as a tribute to her late great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. This name means more than just royal history. It stands for a lasting legacy. It's not just Isla who shares this important name. Other members of the royal family have also taken it as a tribute, making a special bond between the younger generation. People who are related to Isla have the same middle name. Sienna Elizabeth Mapelli Mazzi is Princess Beatrice's daughter. Lena Elizabeth Tyndall is Zara and Mike Tyndall's daughter. And Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, daughter of Prince William and Princess Catherine, is also named Isla. But Isla is the first person in her family to hold this honor. She is proud to carry on a family tradition that links her to the strong, powerful women who came before her. This thoughtful approach to naming shows how important family ties are and how impressive the royal family's history is. As Savannah and Isla get older, their names will become more than just ways to identify them. They will become treasured reminders of their heritage, linked to important members of the royal family and reflecting the values that make them who they are. Surprisingly, Savannah and Isla don't have any royal titles as kids, even though they come from a royal family. Royalty without the titles Savannah and Isla's childhood. Of course, these young royals are officially the great-granddaughters of Queen Elizabeth II, but their childhoods were very normal, full of fun, laughter, and close family bonds. While they play and explore the Windsor estate's lush grounds, the sisters enjoy the beauty of nature. They have taught their daughters to be humble, which helps them balance their royal duties with a desire for a simple life, despite the unique differences that come with their family history, like their place in the line of succession. Their daily lives are filled with the normal ups and downs of being a child. Royal life has its own nuances, and young people who want to live it must find a balance between the carefree pleasures of youth and the heavy responsibilities that come with their tradition. Because royal titles would come with a lot of responsibility, Princess Anne made the smart choice not to give them to her children, Peter and Zara Tyndall. "I think most people would argue that there are downsides to having titles," she said in an honest interview with Vanity Fair in 2020. "In that case, I believe that what was done was moral." However, Savannah and Isla have a lot fewer official royal duties than their more famous relatives, even though they are related to the royal family. In the line of succession, as of 2024, Savannah is 19th and Isla is right behind her at 20th. Although this change shows how modern they are, their ties to royal history are still strong. Still, these sisters are learning the value of service and making public appearances as part of one of the most famous family traditions in the world. Morals like kindness, compassion, and respecting tradition are taught to them based on what the royal family expects of them. These lessons are universal. Public appearances, spotlight moments with the royal family. The royal balcony became Savannah and Isla Phillips' stage when they first came out in public in 2017. By 2018, they were all the talk of the town, especially Savannah, whose happy personality made everyone laugh and smile. The first time they were seen by the public was at Princess Eugenie's wedding on October 12, 2018, at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. The Phillips sisters, who wore pretty white dresses with green ribbons around the neck, were bridesmaids with Princess Charlotte, who was a beauty in her own right. The wedding wasn't just a party. It was the perfect chance for Savannah to show how contagious her energy is. In contrast, Isla kept her cool, which was a great balance to her sister's excitement. This trip not only gave us a look into their royal lives, but it also showed how close the royal family really is. People were most interested in Savannah and her cousin Prince George at the wedding. The crowd loved Savannah's ability to get into mischief for fun when she imitated the conductor during the 2018 Trooping the Color, making George and everyone else laugh. It was also caught on camera that she was covering her face in a funny way while making a serious face. Soon after, the Daily Mail even caught Savannah pushing George down a small hill at a polo tournament. This added to her reputation as the family's little troublemaker, and was the first of many viral moments that would come after. Savannah is known as the royal family member with the most sass. It's no surprise Savannah is vying for the title of the most mischievous young royal, said body language expert Judy James in an interview. This is because Savannah comes from a royal family with Princess Anne, her strict grandmother, and her rebellious aunt and uncle, Zara and Mike. Savannah and Isla Phillips' public appearances are more than just a formality. They use these times to strengthen their ties to the royal family and bring their youthful energy and close sisterly bond to every event. Their close relationship goes beyond being siblings, showing how important it is for them to stay close to their royal relatives. They're known for having a fun time with Prince George and are friendly with everyone in the royal family. This sets a good example for the next generation of royals. This connection was shown with great emotion in 2019 when the Phillips sisters happily hugged their third cousin Lena Tyndall during a play date outside at the Gatcombe Park Horse Trials. Lena was born on June 18, 2018 to Zara and Mike Tyndall. She brought a new dynamic to their family. Mia, the Tyndalls' first child, was thrilled to have a younger sister. But what really caught everyone's attention was how much Savannah and Isla loved baby Lena. Savannah, Isla, and Mia, three cousins, spent a sunny day playing together. They showed what it's like to be a kid. Photographers rushed to capture many cute moments, including one where Savannah, who was so happy, sat on Mia's back and rode her. Comments said, "They all seem to be very close. I'm sure the Phillips girls will love their new cousin when Meghan's baby comes home." They seem very attached to their new cousin. No one could deny the strong bond between these royal children. The happy things that Savannah and Isla do as part of their royal duties are an example for all modern royal families. They light up the public with their contagious joy and genuine warmth, creating a new, lively image of royalty through their shared love, laughter, and long-lasting friendships. In December 2023, Westminster Abbey held a carol service called Together at Christmas. Peter Phillips, his sister Zara Tyndall, and the Phillips sisters all helped make the event feel more festive. As they walked into the chapel, photographers were taking pictures of every moment. People were talking about how much Savannah and Isla had grown up. Savannah Phillips had a calm confidence that showed how much she had grown, which was very different from her rebellious childhood. Throughout the evening, both Savannah and Isla wowed the crowd by talking about how their roles in the royal family are changing and how difficult royal duties are. A lot of people were interested in what they were wearing because it combined royal elegance with a youthful touch. Many people who follow the royal family couldn't help but think, "Those girls are about to take the fashion and beauty world by storm," referring to their possible impact on the fields. The sisters' attendance at royal events is both an outlet for them to express themselves and a chance for the public to see a more modern side of royal life. Their unique blend of grace and modernity has won them many fans. But behind all the excitement and admiration, Savannah and Isla have had a challenging childhood, especially since their parents split up. Even with these problems, the sisters continue to handle their royal heritage with grace and strength, exemplifying the changing spirit of the monarchy. Heartbreak in royalty, facing the reality of their parents' divorce. As they raised their two beautiful daughters, Savannah and Isla, Peter Phillips and Autumn Kelly seemed to have a great marriage. Let's look at Autumn Kelly's life before she met Peter to better understand their journey. Autumn Kelly has an interesting past that began in Montreal, Quebec. She would go on to win the heart of Peter Phillips, Queen Elizabeth's eldest grandchild. She was born on May 3, 1978, to Kathleen Kitty McCarthy and Brian Kelly. Her childhood was a mix of normal things and very special times. As a child, she lived in the cute Cedar Park neighborhood of Pointe-Claire, which is part of the English-speaking community on the West Island of Montreal. When Autumn was only 8 years old, her parents split up, which was a terrible event. This event changed her life, especially after both of her parents got married again. Autumn's family life also shaped her childhood. She has a twin brother named Christopher and an older brother named Kevin. After the divorce, her mother Kathleen married commercial pilot Ron Magus. Meanwhile, her father Brian fell in love again with Lynn and had 2 more children with her. Their names are Jessica and Patrick. Autumn Kelly stayed very close to Pointe-Claire and did very well in the community, even though her family situation changed. She went to a Roman Catholic parochial school as a child, and then to St. Thomas High School, which is also a Catholic school in the area. Autumn was smart and good at school, but she was also a great athlete who stood out from her friends because of how determined and skilled she was. She talked about her high school years with affection and even shared memories with actress Casey McKinnon, which gave her group of friends a touch of celebrity charm. Later, Autumn went to the well-known McGill University to study East Asian studies. While juggling her schoolwork, she looked into different jobs, such as bartending and modeling. Her desire to try new things led her to become an actress as well. She had a small but credited part in the 1996 movie Rainbow and appeared in the TV show Sirens. She took different paths because of these experiences, showing how flexible and open she is. After earning her Bachelor of Arts degree in 2002, she came home with a lot of life experiences as well as academic knowledge. Autumn then started working as a management consultant. She had no idea that meeting with British royalty would change her life in a big way. Before she met Peter Phillips, Autumn's formative years had a big impact on who she became and what she did, ultimately paving the way for her to become involved with royal life. The world welcomed Peter Phillips with great excitement on November 15, 1977, in the famous Lindo wing of St. Mary's Hospital in London. Since he was Princess Anne and Captain Mark Phillips's first child, his birth was celebrated with all the pomp and circumstance that royalty deserves, including a 41-gun salute from the Tower of London. Archbishop of Canterbury Donald Coggan baptized him in the famous music room of Buckingham Palace on December 22, 1977. This made him even more of a royal. His godparents were Prince Charles, his maternal uncle, as well as famous people like Geoffrey Tiarx, Captain Hamish Lochore, Lady Cecil Cameron of Lochiel, and Jane Holderness Rodham. They all gave him their blessings. Even though Peter was born into a royal family, his parents worked hard to teach him to be humble. They politely turned down Queen Elizabeth II's offer to make him a peer. This made Peter stand out as the first legitimate grandchild of a British monarch to be born without a title in more than 500 years. This choice showed that the Phillips family wanted their children to have a normal childhood. It also set the stage for Peter's journey to find a balance between living a normal life and meeting royal expectations. One interesting fact about Peter Phillips as a child was that he was 5th in line for the throne. But when his cousin Prince William was born in 1982, the royal family hierarchy changed, and Peter's place in the family changed too. Even though things had changed, his status was still unique. As kids, he and his younger sister Zara Phillips, now Tyndall, had the freedom of not having royal titles because their parents wanted to raise them without the responsibilities of being royal. Peter has 2 half-sisters. Heather Tonkin, Peter's ex-lover, had a daughter named Felicity Wade, and Mark Phillips's second marriage to Sandy Pfluger gave birth to Stephanie Phillips. He went to Port Regis Prep School in Dorset for his early education. Then he went to the prestigious Gordonstoun School in Scotland, which is known for having students from the royal family. Peter quickly stood out as a leader at Gordonstoun, where he became head boy and showed off his natural charm and ability to lead. Peter took a gap year after finishing school and went to Sydney, Australia, where he found a job with Sports Entertainment Limited, SEL. This experience had a big impact on his career path. It was also during this time that he had the exciting chance to work with Jackie Stewart's Formula One racing team. Peter went to the University of Exeter to get a degree in sports science because he loved sports so much. During college, he did more than just study. He was an active rugby player who played for the college team and even for Scotland at the youth and junior levels in rugby union in the mid-1990s. Peter Phillips started a career that was just as exciting as his school years after he graduated in 2000. He started out at Jaguar, where he was in charge of corporate hospitality and did a great job as a sponsorship accounts manager. But he decided to make a change in 2005 and became a manager at the Royal Bank of Scotland, RBS, in Edinburgh. In March 2012, Peter decided to leave RBS to become the managing director at SEL UK. His career kept going in the right direction. His strong interest in sports, especially rugby, remained an important part of his career path. A rugby league match between the Warrington Wolves and the Leeds Rhinos took place at Wembley Stadium in August 2012. He was invited as a guest. One of Peter's most important contributions happened in 2016, just before his grandmother turned 90. He was in charge of planning the Patrons' Lunch, a big party with a parade down London's The Mall and a picnic for 10,000 people. His amazing organizational skills were on full display, and the event was a perfect tribute to the Queen. Not all of Peter's public activities, though, got such good feedback. In January 2020, he caused a stir when he was in an ad for Bright Food, a Chinese company promoting their milk. People in the media were interested in this ad because Peter used his position as a British royal family member to promote the product. This caused a lot of reaction. But by 2019, rumors started to spread about the state of their marriage, which made people think that things were not as perfect as they seemed. In February 2020, Peter and Autumn confirmed these rumors by saying they were splitting up. This was the official end of their 12-year marriage. The couple quickly came to an agreement to get a divorce, ending a chapter that many people had been watching from afar. At first, there were talks about Autumn, who is Canadian, possibly going back home after the breakup. She chose to stay in Gloucestershire, though, so that she and Peter could continue to co-parent their daughters, Savannah and Isla. During this whole process, they kept their daughters as their top priority. In a statement about their kids, they said together, "Both Peter and Autumn will stay in Gloucestershire to raise their two children where they've been living for a while." They asked for space and understanding for their children while the family went through this change. A lot of people were surprised by this decision, especially since living together after a divorce can be hard. It was especially hard for Autumn to decide to stay in the UK instead of going home to see her family and friends in Canada because of the pandemic. Even with these problems, they were both still determined to keep things stable for their daughters. This was also emphasized in the statement. Autumn and Peter decided that this was the best thing for their two kids and their friendship. It was clear that they got along during their divorce, even though it was sad. The months leading up to their decision were long and emotional, but the end result showed how much they both cared about what was best for their daughters. Their first priority will always be the health and safety of their two beautiful daughters, Savannah and Isla. Peter's mother, Princess Anne, owns Gatcombe Park, a huge estate that is still a big part of Peter and Autumn's lives even though they are no longer married. Since Queen Elizabeth II bought it for her daughter in 1976, the estate has been in the family. Princess Royal and her husband, Sir Timothy Lawrence, live there now. Zara Tyndall, Peter's sister, also lives there with her husband Mike and their three children, Mia, Lena, and Lucas. Even though getting a divorce was hard, Peter and Autumn's friendship and shared commitment to co-parenting give them hope for the future. Peter and Autumn both found new loves after they broke up. In 2021, Peter started dating Lindsay Wallace, and it looked like the royal family liked them together. Wallace went to a number of royal events, which showed that she was accepted by the royal family. Savannah and Isla, Peter's daughters, probably felt at ease with their dad's new partner after this nice welcome. Like that, Autumn was ready to start a new part of her life. In a relationship with her Irish partner, Donald Mulrian, she went public with him, which caused a lot of attention. They went public as a couple for the first time in March 2022, going from being friends to being in a relationship. When they made their debut at the Cirencester horse trials a month later, it showed how charming and affectionate they were becoming. which got people's attention. This outing showed that Savannah and Isla were probably getting used to the new family arrangements pretty well. Autumn and Donald seemed totally at ease with the girls as they posed for beautiful pictures together, giving off a real sense of happiness and friendship. As Isla sat on Donald's shoulders, she added to their infectious laughter and showed that they were naturally connected. The expert on body language, Judy James, said that Donald seemed to have no trouble adjusting to his new role as stepfather. She said that he seemed to treat the girls as if he were meeting their future stepmother for the first time. This heartwarming scene shows how much the royal family loves each other and how close they are as a family. It also showed how important it is to spend quality time with each other. Family has always been very important to Savannah and Isla Phillips. As a family tradition, they love getting together with their grandmother, Princess Anne. These times of sharing hugs and laughter are very important in shaping the young girls into the women they will become. A friend of Princess Anne's called her a fun-loving granny to describe how she gets along with her granddaughters. According to what she told the Daily Mail, Anne loves to play games with them. The messier, the better. The girls love being outside, which shows how much the princess has influenced them and how much they both enjoy country life, where they don't mind getting dirty while having fun. As this story of love and connection goes on, Peter and Autumn Kelly's family shows how important love, support, and the ability to adapt are in getting through life's changes. With the help of their grandparents and new partners, Savannah and Isla are raised in a warm and supportive family environment. Family is still very important to them and has always been.